What's up, my peeps? Time for a brand new episode of WWE Mayhem, and the Hell in a Cell update is out right now, surprisingly a lot sooner than expected. I mean, just in the last episode that I posted up, somebody in the comments section was like, yo, when does the update come out? And I was like, yeah, probably the weekend, but no, came out today, so that took me by surprise. Usually these updates, these big ones, pay-per-view ones, come out the weekend of the show, except for the last one, which was SummerSlam, which came out like a week before SummerSlam, and that was a surprise. I was thinking that was a one-time thing, but I guess not. Maybe this is the new trend and they're gonna start, putting these updates out a lot earlier than before. So anyways, in this episode, since the update just came out, it's gonna be all about the Hell in a Cell update, the Hell in a Cell match. You'll see some Hell in a Cell gameplay. I'll talk about the good in the update, the bad in the update, the new stuff. But before I get to all that, bam, toy code. So I posted this tweet out a little over a month ago saying that I had a Seth Rollins and 2 Goldberg codes that I was gonna give away on video, and I still plan to do so. The announcement on how you guys can get your hands on those codes will be coming pretty soon in an episode of Mayhem, but here's a hint right now on how you can get those codes. You'll want to be subscribed and have all the notifications turned on so you know as soon as a video goes up. With that said, let's get started with the Hell in a Cell stuff, starting off with, for those of you who haven't updated yet, make sure you go ahead and level up your 4-star superstars before updating, because one of the changes with this update is that it increases the cost to level up 4-star superstars. 2 and 3-star superstars, the cost remains the same, but for the 4 stars, you'll want to level them up before you update. Now, with that aside, once you've updated, let's start it off with the Cell match itself. So, with the Hell in a Cell match, it's interesting. The Hell in a Cell highlights events. Most of the matches are regular matches. When in the match, you're surrounded by the cell structure. Now, you can't actually use the cell within those matches. You can't use it as a weapon, you can't jump off it or anything like that. But there's a specific Hell in a Cell match, which you can identify by this icon right here, which means it's a Hell in a Cell match. And I've got to say, the Hell in a Cell match is actually a pretty fun match to play, and it's the first match in Mayhem that allows you to fight outside of the ring because you started off on top of the Hell in a Cell structure, just like Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins did in their Hell in a Cell match, and you end the match on top of the structure as well, provided you win the match. If you lose the match, then you end up on the mat, laid out, or dead on the floor because it doesn't look like you land through the announcer's table. The objective of the match is to throw the opponent off of the Hell in a Cell structure or through the structure itself. And you've also got a couple select moves that you can do on top of the cell, like side slams and sit down power bombs, but you don't want to spend too much time doing those moves because if you do and that timer runs out, then you lose the match, even if the opponent hasn't put you through the cell or thrown you off the cell. And you can throw them off the cell with a military press or just simply actually throwing them with the Beal move or Bell move, I don't know how it's pronounced. And also you can drop kick them off the cell. There's a couple different moves in there, and just overall it's a fun little match to play. I would have loved to have seen the ability to do like a swanton off the cell or a leg drop or elbow or something like that, like through the announce table. That would have been amazing, but I still like what we got. The event itself though, the Hell in a Cell highlights event, the rewards are pretty bad. Actually, they're pretty terrible if you ask me, but if the SummerSlam update was any indication to what we can expect here in terms of rewards when it comes to the pay-per-view events, the good rewards actually come out with the pay-per-view events and not the highlight events, because the highlight rewards for the SummerSlam one were pretty bad too. Now on to the new superstars, Edge, Bam Bam Bigelow, and 4-star Braun Strowman. The good news is all 3 of them, the 4-star versions, are available right now from the very beginning in the 4-star loot case, so you don't have to wait like Eddie Guerrero and Doink. And speaking of Eddie and Doink, both of them are also now available in the regular 4-star case. They're not just available in the premium case and special loot cases, so that's good news. And also on top of that, Bret Hart is now also in the 4-star loot case with this update. Prior to this, he was only available in the Icon Super loot case. This, to me, is like good news. It's hopefully a sign of things to come, more superstars that were previously only available in certain loot cases becoming available in the normal 4-star loot case, so more of us can get our hands on them, because I'm still waiting for 4-star Goldust to be made available in the normal 4-star loot case and the 3-star loot case. I still need Goldust, and hopefully, seeing Bret Hart in there, this might mean that we also see the 4-star Booker T in the 4-star loot case as well. Maybe even, you know, Badass Taker, Powerhouse Taker. Although I will say I'm not opposed to certain superstars like Badass Taker being only available in some loot cases, so it makes that superstar more special. Also, on the topic of these new superstars, the stats. Well, Bam Bam Bigelow, let's start off with him. He's got a lot of power, so he's strong, but health-wise, he's pretty bad. He's got pretty low health. He's like on Sami Zayn's level health-wise, which is pretty bad. Sami Zayn is terrible in the game. Now, Edge is pretty good. He's up there with the top technicians. Good health, good power. Obviously, he doesn't have the quick strikes, but good stats nonetheless. And also, Braun Strowman, 4-star Braun Strowman, as expected, he's right up there with the powerhouses. Really good health, really good power. He just has a little less health than Andre, I believe, but I think the power is the same. I'm not looking at the screen right now. You guys are likely seeing it on the screen, but personally, I'm not looking at it right now, but I believe they've got the exact same power. Now, still on the topic of stats, they've also changed the stats for the other superstars that were already in the game. If you saw the update notes, it does say stats have been adjusted to make each superstar stand out, and they've definitely done this. You'll notice that the numbers, they're more odd now. You don't see a lot of superstars that have the exact same number of health and power. A lot of them are pretty unique, so they've definitely done that. It's definitely been adjusted. I'm not going to go into in-depth on every single superstar and, you know, point out the differences and such. Now, moving on, something that we knew was coming with this update because they did announce it on the community page was that they were doing away with the 2 energies per node on superstar difficulty. Now, in fact, when you go into an event, you don't see the whole energy per node thing. All you see is the target rating and the total matches within that difficulty. And when you go into an event, you'll notice that under a superstar, there's a number there. It either says 1 or 2, that is the amount of energy it is going to take for that node. One thing I did notice early on when the update just came out is that the Raw event, which took place prior to the update, still took 2 energies per node on superstar difficulty, while for instance the wildcard event, a newer event, took just 1. But I do believe that's been fixed now. Energies now depend on the node itself and not the difficulty. That is no longer a thing. Now, something else that came out with this update, or a change that came out with this update, this is one we didn't expect because they didn't talk about this prior to the update, so it came in as a nice surprise, is that Kurt Angle is now a technician. For the longest time, a lot of people, myself included, were like, yo, Kurt Angle is a technician, not a powerhouse. He came into Mayhem as a powerhouse, which was weird because Kurt Angle, yes, he's shown some impressive, you know, power in the past, like, you know, angle slamming Mark Henry, for instance, but he's a technician, you know, not a powerhouse in real life. And so they went ahead and listened and changed that. So Kurt Angle is now a technician. Not only that, but also another thing people were complaining about when it comes to Angle is the finisher, or one of the finishers. He had Angle Slam, no problem with that, but the second finisher was just a German suplex. It was called Angle Suplex or Angle German Suplex. I mean, yes, you know, Angle did do German suplexes, but you know, his second finisher was always the ankle lock, and they went ahead and added that in. So now Kurt Angle does the ankle lock in the game. Now that's good, but here's the bad news. If you were expecting a unique, you know, ankle lock for Kurt Angle, because we all know with Kurt Angle's ankle lock, he has a unique touch to it where he cinches it in, you know, goes to the mat afterwards, and then the opponent taps out. That's like the, you know, him boosting it up, him adding the pressure onto the ankle lock. Well, that part is not in. His ankle lock is the same animation as Chad Gable's ankle lock, except, of course, afterwards you get Kurt Angle's taunt in that Chad Gable's taunts. But nonetheless, happy that, you know, his class has changed and also that he's got the ankle lock. What would have been perfect, though, is if he also got the quick strikes instead of the slow strikes that he's got right now. Another cool thing is some superstars now have some updated looks. Elias and Goldust are official. We know they've got new looks. Elias now looks like this. I like the new look for the 3-star Elias. Goldust looks like he's got a wig on, which, you know, he did when he'd have that hair. And I do believe I saw in one of the Facebook groups that they said somewhere that they drew a new look for Dean Ambrose, but obviously it's not here for Hell in a Cell. So if that's the case, maybe it'll come out in a future update. They've also added the ability ability to level up skills by stacking them up. So if you have more than one skill, you can level that up, make it stronger. Also, they switched out some of the move logos. Now you can actually tell, like, hey, he's got a chokeslam stored up because some of the logos have been updated. And for the person that asked, what do I think Braun Strowman's super move was going to be, I said the pinball bomb, but it's actually the super chokeslam. Also, cool little addition during the matches. When you pause the game now, you can check out you and your opponent's abilities, moves, and synergies. Also, the loot section has kind of changed. Now it's separated from superstar loot cases and items loot cases. But also, speaking of the store, on the bad side of things, they have increased the price of the max energy refill, going from 25 gold to now 40 gold, going along with, things costing more gold in the game. But overall, I give the update a thumbs up, a lot more good than bad.